The 2017 season has come to an end as the Oakland Athletics lost to the Los Angeles Angels in the American League Championship Series. So, at the end of the postseason, the Angels went on to win the World Series over the Washington Nationals. So Angels are World Series champs, Nationals are runners-up. And now, let's hop into the offseason, as the first thing that I found very interesting was that Mike Scioscia, World Series winning manager Mike Scioscia, just won the World Series with the Angels, was not re-signed or he was fired. I'm not sure what they did to him, but he's not the Angels manager anymore, which is extremely weird because he just won the World Series. And then as far as retirements went, we only really had one major one, and that was Chris Coughlin. We weren't planning on bringing him back anyways. It was just that poor free agent market thing where, for whatever reason, if you sign somebody to a one-year deal, like mid-year, it doesn't give them, it just makes them retire because they're like, oh no, I don't know what the reasoning is, but it's a dumb thing that's been in the game for quite a while, and it's still there. And then the Hall of Fame is Alex Rodriguez, Carlos Beltran, Jimmy Rollins, Adrian Beltre. Those are the guys who made the Hall of Fame. So now moving on to the exciting part. Who we re-signed, who we signed, who we let go, all that good stuff. So, starting off with the re-signings, Yangervis Solarte, 4 years, $29.5 million over 4 years. Then we moved on to Jose Miguel Fernandez, 2 years, our second baseman with $1.7 million spread over those 2 years. Matt Olson, our young stud first baseman, 3 years, $2.8 million over those 3 years. J.R. Newman, our first round pick from the first season of this franchise, was signed to a 3-year deal worth $1.5 million. Henderson Alvarez, Hendo, is going to be back. He's getting $16 million over 3 years. That's quite a bit of money, but he had quite a good year last year, and he's going to be a middle-of-the-order rotation guy, probably third, maybe second, just around there. He's a solid pitcher to have. DH Chris Davis, or corner outfielder / DH Chris Davis, $6.3 million over 2 years. Stephen Vogt has been brought back for 1 year with $2.8 million to be the starting catcher. He's getting up there in years, though, so this might be his last year with the Athletics. You never really know. Andros Vizcaino with 2 years, $4 million. The relief pitcher is also another relief pitcher. The Aussie. Liam Hendricks has been brought back for 2 years, $3.3 million as well. As far as who we let walk, Billy Butler will not be returning. He's going to be let walk in a free agency. Marwin Gonzalez was signed last offseason to be a stopgap at shortstop for Franklin Barreto, and what do you know? He is not going to be brought back, so Marwin Gonzalez, he's getting let walk. Tim Lincecum, the starting pitcher who we signed in the first year of the free agency to start the season, to be like a bottom-of-the-order guy, did not exactly have a great year last year. He got rocked in the one game he pitched in the playoffs. That was the game where we gave up like 12 to the Angels or whatever it was. And so Tim Lincecum is not going to be brought back, and we're going to go with the younger option in the bottom of the rotation. And then Jed Lowry was offered a qualifying offer. He ended up accepting it, but a little later on in the episode, we'll go over what we did with Jed Lowry. But before we do that, we're going to go over who we actually signed from free agency. We didn't sign too many people, but we did sign one depth guy and a couple guys who were definitely going to be key players to this year's team. First guy we signed was Tyler Clippard. Tyler Clippard, stud relief pitcher. He was with the Athletics a couple years ago. I think it was last year, actually. Yeah, in real life, that is. Tyler Clippard, 2 years, $8.3 million, so having another stud reliever. When I started this franchise, we had quite a bad bullpen, but I feel like we've definitely improved it to a point where it's pretty much one of the best out there throughout the franchise in the league. Steve Pearce, a utility guy. He can play the corner outfield positions. He can play first. He can play second. So Steve Pearce was signed to a 1-year, $5.5 million deal. He also has quite a solid bat. So Steve Pearce is going to be brought to the Athletics as well. The depth signing we did was Darren Ruff. He's a corner outfielder / first baseman, or first baseman / corner outfielder. He was signed to a 1-year, $630,000 deal. So Darren Ruff is going to be just in AAA as like a guy. He can just destroy left-handed pitching. So if we ever need a guy to fill in the left-handed pitching side of the platoons or something, Darren Ruff could be a guy that we could call up. While Jose Bautista, that's right, Jose Bautista is going to be coming to the Oakland Athletics in his year 37 season. So he is 37 years old, so he is definitely going to be going down as the season goes, but hopefully he's able to still knock out like 20 or so home runs in our lineup. I'm going to be signing him to a platoon contract because he's significantly better against left-handed pitching than he's right-handed pitching, so he'll probably start off playing against left-handers, but if he's just destroying left-handers, I mean, I might put him in against righties, or if we need a spot there, but he's really only a DH at this point in his career because he can't really field. So he's going to be the DH against left-handed pitching as the season starts. And I mentioned that we were going to be doing something with Jed Lowry, and that is what we are doing right now, as Jed Lowry, shortstop who signed the qualifying offer, is going to be traded along with another shortstop prospect in Christopher Ramsey to the New York Mets, who need a shortstop. I believe their starting shortstop is like Ruben Tejada, and he's like a 72 overall. So him, Jed Lowry and Christopher Ramsey, both shortstops, are going to be sent to the New York Mets in return for Rafael Montero, and I feel like this is pretty realistic considering they did a shortstop, and they have a lot of starting pitching depth, and they don't really need Montero because he's like their 5th starting pitcher, and we're going to trade for him, and he's going to fill out a bottom of rotation order in our rotation. So Rafael Montero is now an Oakland Athletic, while Jed Lowry and Christopher Ramsey are being sent to the New York Mets. And now let's move on to what our pitching looks like in our lineups. We'll start things off with pitching as the starting rotation 1 to 5 goes Sonny Gray, Jesse Hahn, Henderson Alvarez, J.R. Newman, and Rafael Montero. In the bullpen, the middle relievers are Andros Vizcaino, Fernando Rodriguez, Alex Torres, and the Aussie Liam Hendricks, while the setup guys are 2 right-handers and Tyler Clippard, Ryan Madsen, and Sean Doolittle is the closer. Now, we only have 1 lefty, and that's Alex Torres besides the closer and Doolittle, so that could be an issue down the line, and maybe if somebody struggles, then Dubront could be brought back up, because Dubront is currently in AAA, and he had a solid year last year in the big leagues for us. Right-handed pitching lineup is leading things off center field Gerard Dyson, followed by third baseman Yangervis Solarte, second baseman Steven Pierce, DH Chris Davis, first base Matt Olson, catching is Stephen Vogt, shortstop Jose Miguel Fernandez, right field Sean Andino, left field Billy Burns, and then the starting lineup against left-handed pitching is center fielder Billy Burns, third baseman Yangervis Solarte, DH Jose Bautista, right field Chris Davis, first base Steve Pierce, left field Monty Mason, catching is Stephen Vogt, second base is Jose Miguel Fernandez, and shortstop is Franklin Barreto. Now, I'm sure you know that a few changes have happened in these lineups. These are not going to be the set-in-stone lineups for the entire season, so once I get into like August, I'm probably not going to be doing the same exact lineups as people struggle, people improve, people get injured, just lineups move around. Probably by like, I don't know, like the 4th or 5th episode, you'll probably see a different lineup going. As Franklin Barreto is really going to be playing for his spot, as he is that young prospect shortstop we have, who I've wanted to have in the major leagues for quite some time now. And you've noticed that against lefties, against righties, he's not playing, as Fernandez is going to get a shot at shortstop while Pierce plays second. But against lefties, Fernandez is back to second and Barreto's at shortstop while Pierce is at first, and Olson doesn't play against lefties because he's a lefty, and he's just not very... Well, he is pretty good against lefties, he's just not as good, and I feel like it'd be better off if we do that. So if Barreto just plays out of his mind and plays himself into the lineup, then that's good. But if not, we can send him down and then move Fernandez to shortstop for both positions and just have basically the same lineup when it comes to short, first, and second. Like, Olson at first, Pierce at second, and short is Fernandez on lefties if Barreto struggles. But if he doesn't, then he's in the lineup, and what do you know? We'll figure that out as the season goes. That's managing. And with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for the off-season video. This is episode 42, and the Oakland Athletics are going to be heading into the 2018 season, pretty ready to make another run here. Picked up a few pieces in the off-season, definitely improved the lineup in my opinion. The starting rotation is probably just as solid, the bullpen is definitely better. Excited to see what this A's team does in 2018. So, I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I'm saying goodbye.
There's a place up ahead and I'm going just as fast as my feet can fly. Come away, you get going. Leave the sinking ship behind. Come on to rise and win. We're going